With the first level beaten, we're brought out into a world map that's very reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 3. And you can't see much of that right now, but you'll see that more as we uncover more of the map. Now, as with Super Mario Bros. 3, you couldn't progress beyond a level until you've completed it, so our first stop here is going to be the village. The village feels like a very strong callback to towns in games like Zelda 2 and Castlevania 2. Now, however, unlike those games, I won't be able to enter any buildings, but I can at the very least talk to the townsfolk. I mean, we already knew that, but it's pretty nice info to have. We'll talk to one more person. Ouch! That's stone cold. Now, the first character of note, actual note, also note, oh, that's a bad joke, that we have to talk to here is the Bard. This is where we're going to be turning in all of the music sheets we've picked up along the way. With each music sheet we give him, he has a little tidbit about that song in particular. But that's not all. We can actually get him to play any song that we've picked up for him. So, for example, he just talked about The Rival, which I believe is down here. We can have him play Black Knight's theme for us. And as I said, with every song, he has a little tidbit of information to go along with each one. Now, I don't have time to go and read every single one of them here now for you. At the very least, I'm going to put the village theme back on. But I will be posting links to every song that we have unlocked and every tidbit he has to say about them in the thread. There's a few important characters in here. I'll talk to these guys as I double back around. I want to make sure I have enough money to buy other things first. For now, let's converse with the cast of Cheers down here in the bar. Spectre Knight is, of course, one of the members of the Order of No Quarter, so we'll be fighting him soon enough. King Knight as well. I suppose we can come back here and see what these guys have to say after we kick some ass. And just some cute little stat tracking. Now, that's not all that we have here in the bar. There's a secret little area back here where we get to play a mini game. So this minigame is pretty straightforward. Some vials are going to fall towards the ground, and I want to try to hit them towards the targets. The blue target is worth 1 point, the yellow target is worth 3 points, and the red target right up there on the top, the hardest one to hit, of course, is worth 10. Occasionally there's going to be those glowing vials. If I hit those, it explodes out into about 5 or 6 vials that shoot out. Makes things a little bit easier to hit, but a little bit unreliable as well. A score I want to aim for is 150, because then we'll get a special reward. Hopefully I don't screw that up here. The rest of the points I get from around here is just gravy. And for 150 points, we get this music sheet. And the rest of the points we get beyond that, just some extra gold. It's nice to have. I'm going to be spending some of it very, very soon here in the final room down here. Croaker is kind of the worst. He has puns, lots of them. There's an achievement for listening to every one. I'm not going to force you guys to watch me talk to this guy for like 10 minutes long, so I'm just going to post all of his terrible, terrible jokes in the thread. Trouble chalices are actually super duper useful, so I'm going to be buying one for now. I'll come back for the other one later. We'll see what this is useful for soon enough. Chester is basically going to be our arms dealer for the rest of the game. He sells us sub-weapons that we can switch between on the fly. I'm just going to buy the fishing rod for now. The Chaos Orb is really handy, it's good to have, but it's a little expensive. There are some other things I want to buy here in the village before I leave, so for now, I'm just going to buy the fishing rod. One last thing before I leave this room. Music sheet. Coming back up here, we have some more things that we're going to buy. First, we're going to talk to the Gotician. The Gotician sells us meal tickets, and you're going to see what this is useful for in about 2 seconds, because when we buy one, the gastronomer up here gets very, very happy. Turn in our meal tickets for him to cook us a delicious, delicious meal. Whatever that is, I bet it tastes great. It's so good, in fact, it increases our maximum health up to 5 from 4. Now, of course, no bonus points for guessing what you're going to be able to buy here. Of course, with being able to increase our maximum health, we can increase our maximum magic. We haven't had a use for magic yet, but we do now, since I bought the fishing rod, which is our first sub-weapon. So now you see by our item up there in the top, we have 40 magic. That's our new capacity. Now if you look here in the sub-weapons, for example, I can use a fishing rod that'll cost 6 magic, and I can increase or refill that magic by picking up blue potions out in the field. One of the minor little things I really love about this game is how everyone's dialogue sound effect is a little different. And sometimes the text is a different color or it moves on the screen. It just adds a little extra character in a medium where they don't have any voice acting. So now that we've talked to the townsfolk and said our goodbyes and used the poor milkmaid as a stepping stool, it's time to head back out into the world. But before we continue on our adventure, there's one final pit stop I'd like to make along the way. The Trouble King is kind enough to offer us some valuable Ikers for our journey. We can come back to refill whenever we want, so it's not a huge choice. It's also not even a hard choice. This red one is easily the best of the three. It refills all of your health and magic on the spot. This is extremely useful, especially in the late game when you have much more health and much more magic available to you. Compare this to becoming invincible for 10 seconds, which is useful, not great, and absorbing nearby treasure for 60 seconds, which is of questionable use because money is never really in that hard of a spot to reach. Red is the obvious choice. And with the Iker, we are primed and ready to go. Oh, actually, wait. One last thing before we go. I am sure he will not mind if we take our fishing rod for a spin. Oh, shoot, he did mind. Alright, well, let's just... Okay, let's just get out of here.